Boxing is a sport often obsessed with eras. We compare greats across decades, measure resumes across weight classes, and debate endlessly over hypothetical matchups. But every so often, a conversation emerges that defies logic, dares to imagine the impossible, and forces the boxing world to ask, what if two of the most dominant fighters, from different nations, weight classes, and philosophies, ever collided in the ring? Naoya Inoue. Canelo Alvarez. On paper, they appear to be two distinct individuals. One, a master of speed, movement, and surgical violence. The other, a brooding technician who eats pressure for breakfast and punishes with Mexican thunder. One fights with the grace of a katana, the other with the weight of a sledgehammer. But in the hearts of fans, the question remains, who's truly the better fighter? To even begin exploring this hypothetical collision, we must look beyond surface-level differences. It's not about weight or size, it's about greatness. It's about legacy, dominance, willpower, and how two men with such contrasting styles came to rule the same sport in such different ways. Canelo Alvarez didn't just emerge as Mexico's boxing prodigy. He earned it the hard way, grinding through local fights as a teenager, fighting grown men in front of raucous crowds. At just 19, Canelo was already known for his knockout power and maturity inside the ring. It was in this early stage of his career that he encountered men with far more experience and far less to lose. They came at him with wild styles and raw aggression, hoping to derail his ascent. But Canelo never flinched. Fighters like Leonardo Tyner were supposed to be roadblocks. A proud American brawler with a strong chin and nothing to fear, Tyner entered the ring with bravado and the intention of silencing the hype around Canelo. He'd never been dropped before. He wasn't there to lose. But even at that young age, Canelo had already developed a calmness in chaos. He stayed in the pocket, absorbing pressure, slipping punches, and countering with devastating precision. He didn't need to dominate every second, he just needed to figure you out. And once he did, the punishment came in waves. Tyner was game, no doubt, but the fight gradually shifted. The American's forward march turned into a cautious step, and Canelo's counters started landing with a thud. Canelo didn't chase the knockout, he imposed his control. Though he didn't finish Tyner, he made a statement. He could outslug a brawler and outthink a fighter too wild for strategy. On the other side of the world, years later, another monster was growing. Naoya Inoue, Japan's pride, wasn't merely winning, he was dismantling. His aura was different. There was something eerie about how calm he looked before fights, how precise his shots were, and how opponents seemed to unravel in real time. When Inoue stepped into the ring with T.J. Doheny, the Irish-Australian former champion, the air in the Tokyo arena was electric with both reverence and fear. Doheny wasn't just an opponent, he was a legitimate threat. He had never been dropped, possessed knockout power in both hands, and brought the kind of grit that only comes from years of clawing through the boxing ranks. Doheny entered with confidence, his hands low, daring the monster to take the bait. But Inoue wasn't one to be baited. He didn't jab much in the opening moments. He came forward like a sniper, aiming with his right hand and slipping just out of range. And when he landed, the effects were visible. Doheny, muscled and proud, began to wear the shots like they were bricks. You could almost see the internal calculations shift in his head. Inoue's mastery wasn't just physical, it was cerebral. When Doheny fired back with a vicious left hook, the kind that had floored many, Inoue studied him. Instead of retreating, he dialed up his pressure, stepping into exchanges and countering the counter. This wasn't just boxing, it was chess with fists. As the rounds progressed, Inoue's shots took on a heavier tone. They were no longer feelers, they were statements. His angles became sharper, his combinations more unpredictable. Doheny, who had entered with swagger, now looked for breathing room that didn't exist. It wasn't just the volume, it was the inevitability. Canelo and Inoue may seem worlds apart, but in their best moments, they share the same cold efficiency. Both of them don't just hurt their opponents, they take pieces of them round after round. When Canelo fights on the inside, it's like watching a craftsman chip away at stone. His head movement, his subtle foot adjustments, and his ability to change levels and dig to the body, all of it is rooted in Mexican boxing tradition. And yet, it's uniquely his. He'll let you throw, just so he can return with something sharper. He'll absorb one to land two, and those two will be enough to change your whole strategy. Inoue, on the other hand, is a blinding storm. He doesn't want your respect, he wants your spirit. He throws punches with such balance and intention that even when he misses, he resets instantly. His footwork doesn't glide as much as it carves a path for destruction. And when he goes to the body, there is a finality to it. It's not attrition, it's termination. That was never more evident than in the middle rounds against Doheny. After softening the Irishman with counters and jabs, Inoue went downstairs with savage intent. One body shot in particular caused Doheny to visibly wince and reach for his lower back. It wasn't a fluke, it was surgical. He wasn't trying to score points, he was trying to break something. From that moment, the end was inevitable. Doheny tried to answer back, to prove his mettle, but Inoue had already made his decision. With each thudding body shot, he reduced the ring to a cornerless prison. By round 7, a brutal combination made Doheny collapse to one knee, clutching his side like something had torn. And in that moment, the truth became clear. Inoue hadn't just won, he had reshaped his opponent's body. Canelo's power is different. It's blunt, heavy, and cumulative. He doesn't rush for knockouts because he trusts the damage will add up. That patience is part of what makes him so dangerous. It's not about overwhelming you, it's about watching you slowly break under the pressure of clean, thudding punches. Inoue's power, by contrast, is sharp and sudden. His knockouts come not from overcommitment but from rhythm, timing, and unpredictability. He throws punches that you don't see and can't brace for. His power is like a lightning strike, sudden, blinding, and final. Oh, who's better? That's where the debate gets fascinating. Are we measuring them by resume, by technique, by adaptability? Both have defeated world champions across multiple weight classes. Both have stood in front of fire and refused to blink. Both have left behind a trail of broken men, physically and mentally undone. Canelo has fought bigger, stronger opponents and weathered storms that would have swallowed lesser men. He has stood toe-to-toe with punchers and technicians alike. His ability to adjust mid-fight is elite. His defense, once criticized, is now a strength. He's become harder to hit clean and more precise with his combinations, and his economy in the ring is unmatched. Every movement serves a purpose. Inoue, on the other hand, has yet to show a ceiling. Every new challenge is met with an answer. Speed. He has it. Power. Evident. Defense. Understated but effective. Mental strength. Unquestioned. He doesn't just win, he overwhelms. And the fact that he's doing this across divisions where opponents are naturally bigger makes it all the more astonishing. Oh, if the two ever met, if weight, age, and reality didn't matter, it wouldn't just be a super fight. It would be a masterclass in adaptation. Could Canelo handle the speed, the volume, and the relentless angles of the monster? Could Inoue withstand the pressure, the bodywork, and the grit of the matador? There's no easy answer. And maybe that's the beauty of it. Greatness doesn't always need a definitive hierarchy. Sometimes, the mere fact that two fighters can inspire such awe is enough. What unites Canelo and Inoue isn't their style, it's their commitment to perfection. It's their refusal to lose. It's the idea that no matter who stands in front of them, they will find a way. Maybe they'll never fight. Maybe they shouldn't. But as long as we have dream matchups like this to discuss, the soul of boxing remains intact. The debate is yours now: logic versus speed, Mexican steel versus Japanese thunder. Pick a side, make your case, and above all, appreciate the brilliance that both of these men bring to the ring. Because in a sport built on blood, sweat, and broken dreams, it's fighters like Inoue and Canelo who remind us why we fell in love with boxing in the first place.